Hi guys, it's Dallas. How are you? So, I want to talk to you about a really serious topic today. Well, my topics are always relatively pretty serious. Even when I'm talking about gemstones, that's serious. Let's get stone for stones, baby. Um, so um October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but I think we should observe it all year round because it's an all year round problem. Okay, it's just not in October. So I want to talk to you. I want to give you this background on this particular criminal case that defies logic and reason. And if you are in a situation that's similar to this, I want you to take heed and pay close attention. All right? This is a true case, a criminal case. So there was a lady who was involved with a guy who is a drug dealer. He is abusive. He likes to laugh when he's abusive to you. He likes to smile. He likes to stare into your soul. And he likes to laugh in your face, break your phone, throw it in the street, beat you up. And as you're bleeding, he's just staring you down like, whatever. He's a hateful individual. All right. Well, she had twin daughters. And the daughters have seen the mother go through a multitude of bad relationships with abusive, nasty men. Okay? Many times they had to leave their home and go into a shelter. And over the years, just time and time and time and time and time again, those kids become traumatized. And this takes a serious, heavy toll on them psychologically because they are being affected too. They are hearing the screaming and yelling. They are watching this person beat you up all the time. They are watching the violence, which may be directed to them also. So there could be physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, all of the above. And so it takes a toll on them. Women who have children need to do like animal mothers do in the wild. Because animal mothers in the wild will protect their kids no matter what. A mother bear has violently attacked people who were nowhere near her cubs. But she's going to beat you up and almost kill you because she's just letting you know, I don't even want you thinking about it. Human mothers, on the other hand, will choose a garbage man over their children any day of the week. The children's safety doesn't really seem to jive in their head. It doesn't dawn on them that what I'm going through and what my children are witnessing is taking a toll on my children too. This is psychologically damaging to them, physically, verbally, and physically, mentally damaging to them. They don't seem to think about that. Some do, but you're not thinking about it quickly enough, and you're not taking action to protect your children if you stay in a situation like that. It's not about you. Once you had children, it stopped being about you from the moment of conception. Okay? Let me repeat that. It stopped being about you from the moment of conception. Animals in the wild will protect their kids, and humans are just like, well, but I love him. Yes, he beats me up, but I love him. Yes, he's abusive and cheats on me, but I love him. When does common sense set in? Because there are too many people that are being damaged behind the choices that you're making, including you. So the girls were twins. They were 19. And he attacked the mom, and the mom's hand was bleeding, and he was laughing and making snarky comments, and the daughter witnessed it, and he took oh, somehow there was a gun involved, and supposedly the daughter, well, whenever the boyfriend left, one of the daughters went out and followed after him, and she claims that he asked for the gun and she was handing it to him, and then he put his hand on the top of the gun and the gun went off and killed him. But her finger was nowhere near the trigger. Not only that, but she lied to the cops because they asked her, have you ever fired a gun? She said no. Have you ever held a gun? No. Have you ever held a gun in your hand ever? And she said no. Well, those were all bold-faced lies, because they saw her on Facebook posing with a gun. And at one point, she's kind of laying like this and she's got the gun like that. Almost like nonverbals, that's what you're going to get if you mess with me type of deal. Okay? The gun that the cops saw was the same gun that killed the boyfriend of the mother. So here he is outside, dead on the ground. She's getting all teary-eyed when she's talking to the cops, but she's also lying to the cops. I never touched a gun before. I never did this. I never did that. And it's all a lie. They witnessed you holding a gun in your hand on Facebook in front of God and everybody. So the tears are probably for herself more than anything. And I'm not condoning killing people, but I do believe that she was in a state of severe PTSD. She was tired of the abuse and she wanted to protect her mom, and she's getting tired of your smug ass attitude. And so it stops today. It stops with a bullet. Okay. So her sentence was 9 years. You never do your full sentence. So she'll probably do about, I don't know, 3.5 to 4 years. Maybe less, maybe a little bit more, maybe released on good behavior. Who knows? You don't never fully, do your full sentence. The mother, as much as this son of a bitch has hated on her, and I don't give a shit that he's dead. That's his problem. I don't have any respect for woman beaters. I have zero respect for that. I have zero respect for someone who's throwing their life away by selling dope. His father was proud of him. Proud of him for what? He beats the shit out of women and he sells drugs. That's what you want your child to aspire to do? Okay. Most parents who are smart, they're like, well, yeah, I'm proud of him because he graduated from Yale University. Not, I'm proud of him because he's a dope dealer and a woman beater. Anyway, I don't advocate for people to get killed, but I don't feel sorry for him. It's a surprise he didn't get shot or killed sooner. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Anyway, so I don't feel sorry for him. After all the abuse that he's done to her, all the hatred that he did to her, all the hate that he did to her daughters, all the times he whooped her ass. Don't you know? She sat in a police station and put her head on the table and was bawling her eyes out, talking about, how am I going to live without him? What the fuck do you mean? How do I live without him? How do you live without a woman beater? How do you live without another round of PTSD being flared up because he don't know how to act? More abuse on your children. If you don't give a shit about you, what about your children? You obviously don't care about you. What about your children? And what about what this has done to them? And you have a long history of being with women who do this. And if you don't have kids, the only person that you have to worry about is you. But when you have children, what the hell is wrong with you? When does your common sense kick in? You have Stockholm syndrome. You have Stockholm syndrome. You are bonding with the person who hates you. You're not using common sense. You're using your emotions, but you're not using common sense. So when does common sense kick in? And when do you listen to what your parents are saying? And when do you listen to what your siblings are saying and your friends are saying? When do you say, you guys are right? I didn't want to admit it, and I do care about him, but I can't live like this anymore. So you leave him. And you get some comprehensive therapy to find out why you're deliberately choosing people who are the devil. You're attracted to the devil. And where is your self-esteem? Pick it up off the floor. Pick it up off the floor. And get some therapy. And start using common sense. Start protecting your children. Start protecting yourself. There's nothing sexy about getting killed. There is nothing sexy about being murdered. And that's what you're going to end up. This is what's going to happen. You're going to get killed, or you're going to kill him, or it's going to result in really horrible things. When does your common sense set in? Why are you getting mad at your friends and family who are trying to talk some goddamn sense into you? Because you're not thinking. You're operating off of the lies that your heart is telling you. Your heart's telling you lies that you love this person. You don't love this person. You are trauma bonded to them. Trauma bond is not love, sweetheart. Trauma bond is not love. You're attracted to the devil, and you're psychologically entrapped and enmeshed with the devil, and you can't escape on your own because your brain is not working. Your heart is working, and your brain, the logic in your brain is just not there. That's where people that are in your life who are trying to talk some damn sense into you, they're trying to use their sense towards you because you're not using yours. You're trauma bonded to this person, and you need those bonds broken. If you don't break those bonds, someone's going to die. Potentially. And if they don't die physically, they die mentally and psychologically and spiritually. So you're walking around breathing, but you're dead. This never results in good things. And it doesn't have to go down like that. It doesn't. So you got to start using your fucking common sense, and you've got to stop getting mad at everybody else who's trying to talk sense into you, and you have to stop flipping out on them. You just don't understand him. No, you don't understand what you're putting yourself through and what you're putting your children through. You don't understand. Don't you dare flip out on other people because they're not trauma bonded. You are. They're trying to help you because you're not capable of helping yourself because you're not thinking. You're not thinking, you're trauma bonded, and that is masquerading as love. Trauma bond is masqueraded as love. You got to use your common sense, and you got to start listening to other people, is what you need to do. When they're talking sense into trying to talk sense into you, you need to tell them, I am not strong enough to even absorb what you're telling me, but I'm going to go with what you're telling me, and I'm going to get the hell out of this situation until I got to get out of it so I can think clearly, because when you're in the middle of the situation, you can't see your hand in front of your face. It's like walking through a thick, thick, thick fog, or driving through a thick, thick, thick fog. If you ever drove through intense fog, you can't see if there's a car in front of you. They tell you to drive with your hazard lights on, and drive slow because you're not going to be able to see the lane you're in. You're not going to be able to see the cars in front of you. You have zero visibility. That is the same thing that's happening to you when you're in a domestically violent situation. A domestic violence situation. You're not able to see. You're not able to hear. You're not able to absorb common sense. You're not able to do anything that's going to help save your life. You're incapable, I should say. And that's where other people come in, because you can't see your hand in front of your face, but they can see the forest for the trees, and you need to listen to them and let them guide you. Put your pride and embarrassment in your pocket. Close your mouth and open your ears. Be humble and get out of that situation unless you want to end up in a box or unless you want someone that you love in a box. Okay? And then you get to have a funeral for them because all of that could have been stopped. All of that could have been prevented. You don't let it get to the point where they're physically hurting you, verbally hurting you, psychologically tearing you down. You don't let it get to that point. The first time somebody disrespects you, you check them. If it continues, you get out of there then. You don't wait to the point where y'all been together a year to 10 years to 15 years to 20 years. What is wrong with you? Especially when you have children. If you have a fantasy about dying, that's a sexual fantasy for you getting killed. That's on you. But when you have children, there's no excuse for it. Because your responsibility is to those children. And they don't need to bury their mother because she didn't use her head. She used her body to sleep with the devil constantly. And his thank you to her was whooping her ass the next day. Or the same night. Y'all have got to start using your brain, and you've got to start realizing the dynamics, the psychological dynamics that goes into domestic abuse and how your brain gets manipulated and twisted. Okay? This is very serious. This needs to be talked about more. It stopped being about you when you conceived a child. You need to think about that. And you need to think about your own life. There's too many people out here that can help you through that situation. There's shelters. There's hotlines, domestic abuse hotlines. There's everything. There's so much help out there for you. It doesn't make any damn sense for you to continue to stay in this situation. And once you understand what trauma bond is, and once you understand that trauma bond is not love, that's a start. That's a start. All right? I'm going to see if I can find the domestic abuse hotline number. I have talked about this before, but I'm going to see if I can find it so you don't have to go searching for it. Domestic abuse hotline. National Domestic Violence Hotline is 800-799-7233. 800-799-7233. If you're in immediate danger, call 911. And for anonymous confidential help 24/7, call the number I just gave you, 800-799-7233. If you're in immediate danger, call 911. You ain't got time to call the hotline. Okay? You need help right away if your life is on the line. But you don't let it get to that point. And you don't let it get to the point where your self-esteem is not low. It's almost non-existent. You don't let it get to that point. Self-love is one of the most important things that you have to survive in this world and to survive nasty people who mean harm to others. That is their sole purpose in life, is to damage other people. All right? I love you guys. Take care. Talk to you later.